Alright, I don't know how well this is going to work, but we are starting on the Brooder Room. Um, this is the old bunk room, bunk area that we used to live in. When we first started out on our journey, we started in this camper. I built these bunks back here for our children. It was our 3 children and my mother-in-law, and then we had the 4th child up there with us in a custom bed that I built for her, and then our bed, of course. We're taking these out, so I've already got the carriage bolts out. I use these. They got the little square head down here that digs in. Some of them have washers, some of them don't. The bottom ones down here I could not get washers onto because of the space, so the top ones had washers, the bottom didn't. They held together. I mean, our kids were young. They weren't big, heavy kids, you know. Probably 50 pounds or less, you know, little kids. So they held up great. And as I take these screws out, it becomes even more unstable. So, not that it was unstable to begin with. I mean, I got up there on these bunks myself before I ever put my kids on them. So it worked for us for the time, and now it's going to be a brooder for our chicks, because we have some chicks in there that are too big for the babies that we have going out there. So I don't want to lose chicks, because we do have a couple of bullies in that mixture, and I'm going to try to prevent losses. So get this last screw out of here. Yeah, if I can get, there we go. So I already took the side rail out. I took the plywood off of there. We're taking the screws out, and then well, I got to do the side that you're sitting on next. So I took the liberty of removing the metal that was covering this window. It had gotten busted because where we lived before, excuse me, the kids decided they were going to throw concrete, and they busted several windows in here. So our initial plan was to turn this into a hay trailer, but when we moved up here, I decided to turn it into a chicken coop. And the front half is chicken coop. This half is going to be a brooder room. And I think the bathroom back here, we're going to do like a multi-purpose kind of room. I haven't quite decided yet if that's the way it's going to go, but we'll see. I had to take the door off to make a little bit more space to get this stuff taken off of here, because I screwed in pretty tight to the wall, so the door was in the way. I couldn't get this up there to remove the stuff. So with the door removed, it kind of makes me want to just leave it removed, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm really thinking about bringing chicken feed over here, or at least the chick starter, because I could turn this bathroom section into the actual brooder part, where we have our incubators and the brooder, because I think it would fit where the bathtub is sitting, and then we could have our 2 incubators that we currently have in here as well. We'll just have to see how it goes. Right now we're working on this. We got to get the bottoms set so we can bring the big chicks over here, and that way they're not beating up on the newborns that we're putting out there. So let's continue at it. We removed that broken window. I can see a lot better in here. The window behind me was already removed. And it is broken, but it's not all like dangerous, if you get my drift. This was definitely a hazard. Santana has already come up and stuck her head in there. She's not crazy about the impact, so once I started using that, she walked away. But we think she is going into another heat because the way she's acting and the fact that she won't leave me alone tells me she's going into heat. So we're just going to throw that stuff outside because I got enough stuff in here to sweep up. Who would have thought it'd been so messy in a chicken coop, you know? Pretty much all I'm doing, I'm removing these boards. I'm gonna get these tops cleared out so I don't give myself a headache. And then we're gonna take this plywood down here. We're gonna probably cut it to where we can put some wire over top of it, and then that way we can keep the ticks on either side. We're gonna have to do some securing, and we're gonna have to box it in where they've ran the plumbing and the ductwork and stuff through the walls in order to make that secure. And then these doors down here on the bottoms to reach in for a cubby storage, we'll have to secure those. But other than that, I think this is going to work out great. We've got shelves here so we can store like heat lamps, extra feeders, waters, whatever in there. And I think that will work out great. I've got to figure out where my screw is here. Now we're just going to continue along here and get this done. Now I don't know where that screw went. Well, that makes number 2. It may have fell down completely. But, you know what to say. I've got screws loose. Oh, don't we all? Don't we all? As a matter of fact, today I've got 2 screws loose. Got to find one of these big ones and one of the small ones that come out of the door hinge. I'm not sure where that puppy went either. Now these here are screwed in to the wall. Used Phillips heads on that one. These got put together with star heads. So let's switch bits here and. Well, hi, pretty girl. How are you? I'm still running this thing. I am. That screw's bent, so I think it can just stay in there. What do you think? Oh, and I think I screwed it in from the back side too, and that's okay, because I made this as secure as I could, because my kids were going to be on it. So, I'm just going to start removing these screws here, see where we can get to, because I don't need it put together the way it's put together now. So we're back to stars up there. Now you may have seen in other videos, this is bunk bed parts, as I mean they're already made to hold our children anyway, right? So why not build a bunk out of them? Because that's exactly what I did. And it worked for the couple of years that we were in here. That is for certain. Now I got to swap back over to the star bit here and remove from the studs in the wall. Those two end boards are screwed in from the other side, so. I may not end up having to stop here at some point and grab another battery, but that'll just be a split second for y'all. So I don't have a whole lot of room in here. It's not a very big room, and I just grabbed what was at the toolbox already, so. Time we did this, we were trying to get out of an expensive rental because some circumstances happened that led us to having to sell our house, and we moved into a bigger one, and then it just turned into a big old ordeal, let me put it that way. And we were tired of renting when we were owning, and we decided to start our journey homesteading. And here we are. Well, that screw does not want to come out there, so we'll work on that at a later point. Throw that over there. Alright, so that bunk is down. Let's start working over here, shall we? Normally when I do things like this, I would put you all on a time lapse, but hey, we're here. Why not bring you along with me? I don't see this taking a real long time here, but let me show you what I'm doing here. We're getting ready to remove these carriage bolts. And you can see there's two here, and now there's two there, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So we're going to get started working on that. Like I said, in some of these I did not have room for washers, so some of them do not have washers, and I can tell you, they have held up to the test of time, let me tell you. My kids jumped up and down off of these and climbed, and of course they slept up there. And hope you don't mind a little noise. I'm trying to get this nut the rest of the way off of here. Pull that out. And just like that. Well, now it doesn't want to go back on. There we go. There's one. Let's continue. Kind of working blind here. So what I'll do is I give it a turn. If I can't turn it with my fingers, I'll continue turning it with the tool. Because I made sure these boogers were on here and they weren't going anywhere. So, and we will be getting rid of the insulation and stuff that is exposed Obviously, that's not a good health thing for the chicks. So get under here and I'll get this undone. We'll get that took off and then we'll just dismantle like we did over there. This one here is a little bit more tricky just due to the amount of space. So I'm going to have to remove this block. And I hope I put the right bit in. It's Phillips, not a Star. Some of you may be wondering why we didn't use big 3-inch screws in here, and that's because I used 1.5 to 2-inch screws due to space. Because these things are only built out of 2x2s anyway. So a 3-inch screw and a 2x2 is not going to do any good. A lot of the screws would have ended up poking through the outside, and that wouldn't have been a good idea. So back these off of here. I'll give that a tap-a-rooney. That one will be out of the way. Now I can get to this upper one. I can get on it here. And there we go. I left these carriage bolts extra long. I didn't see a need to cut them off. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because then I'd have shorter carriage bolts than what I do now. We was able to take this apart, save the full bolt, and if they ever did loosen up for whatever reason, or I needed to add spacers or things like that, the unforeseen future, would have been able to do so. So there's that one. I gotta see if I can get this bottom one out of here. If it will not come out, then we'll just take this off and we'll keep on knocking it out. There we go. Like a glove. Well, this is what I'm talking about, guys. I made things work. We did with what we had. And I cannot stress that enough. Too many people out there are criticizing people, and there's just no sense in it. People shouldn't have to feel bad for doing with what they have. So just because you could do it doesn't mean that they can. And I think other than these screws up here, we're ready to go. So I'd like to tap this out before I take it off of here, but I don't know if it's going to work. It wants to bind up there on the end. There we go. I'm going to leave it in there slightly, just slightly. And then we're going to swap bits out, and we're going to get this side took apart. And we'll get this thing dropped down off of here, and we will just continue. I'll have to find someplace else to sit y'all, though. There she goes. These aren't super heavy, so it's not hurting my arm too bad. Alright, let's put that back on there, and then start stripping her down. Alright, I'll get the screws out of those in a little bit. Now, we get to make a big mess. Big mess. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? That would make a mess, would it now? I mean, come on. No. Never. Let's see if you can watch me from over here in this cabinet. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Alright, we're going to well, I think I may have screwed this piece on, guys. You don't want to come off. Oh, yep, I see some screws. Alright, we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. I'm not going to take it down in one full piece because the way my arm is, I don't want to twist my arm. I don't want to pull my arm. I am still trying to heal, so. Shouldn't be too many screws holding this in, and then we'll be on to removing the base. I know I didn't put that many screws in, it's just I may have to pause y'all while I find the screws. Put my dust mask on here. Pretty much just went along the back here, just like that. I guess I get to make a mess before I'm ready to make a mess because I got some more screws to find that I cannot find. So I'm going to pause y'all while I do that, and we'll be right back. Alright folks, I think I found all the rest of the screws in there. Just some of them blended in. It's covered in dirt, so bear with me. We're going to get this out of here. Alright, here we go. Big dust bath. I'm gonna move the tool. This is just 1/4 inch plywood. The same thing you would find on a bunk bed. So it's going to be more star heads, and I got this 2x6, yeah, pressure treated 2x6, and then I got a bunch of these 1x slats that I've got to remove. So I think I will save you the boredom of that, and we'll just come back when I get that done, and we'll see what we're going to get into underneath these once I have a little bit of headroom, because I don't want a headache. Alright, I'm going to sit y'all up right there, and let me see if I can turn this. We've got to clean some of this. Oh, about lost you. Look at there. Oh my goodness. What would we have done then? All right. I think y'all are okay. You didn't fall too far. All right. Hopefully you'll stay there. All right. Now, like I said, I'm going to get this done. There's a lot of screws, and we'll come back when I get this took off and see what we're getting into down there. Because I'd like to be able to bend over and stand up without cracking my head for 500,000 times. These are just in the way anyway, and they're not going to be serving a purpose in here. So yeah, let's get this show on the road, shall we? And just like that, we're down to the last board. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Are we screwed in from this side? We are. I had to build shelves in these cubbies too, so that we could make them work. We use these for closets. Each kid had a shelf, and of course my mother-in-law had a shelf, and we made it work. So just like that, guys, we are down to the bottom here. Bear with me while I try to adjust you guys. Alright, there we go. So as you can see, no more bunk. I'll either cover this up or we'll gut it out and do something else with it, but we're not going to get into all that today with you guys. I can only record so long, so we're just going to get down to kind of the nitty-gritty here, or what we need to do, and then I may do another video showing the completion of it. And I think I'm just going to leave this wall here that I built between the coop and this room the way it is. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. I don't see any reason of finishing this side of it other than cosmetics. And well, I'm just not that worried about it. It's a chicken coop. So as long as it's not leaking and safe for the birds, that's all I care about. I'm probably going to leave this window over here open, and we're going to wire over it, because in the winter time I could come out here and I can close it off, but that window is going to give airflow in here, and I want good ventilation. So we have the roof vent up here, and if I have to, need be, we will address this window over here as needed. So like I said, this one here, it is cracked. It is not all jagged, sticking out, gonna poke, hurt, cut somebody or something. So it's probably gonna stay the way it is. That was a booger to try to cut that piece of glass and put in there, and then had somebody with a lawnmower crack it. Unfortunately, there was no responsibility taken for that, and that's just the way it's been since. It took me forever to cut that piece of glass, and I had never cut glass before, and you know, I didn't have any kind of specialty thing to make curves and all that. I had to figure all that out just by using my hand, and let me tell you, it was an adventure. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I did, but man, that was a pain in the butt. So I didn't do it again. I just left it. We taped it up and dealt with it. So anyway, since I've got this side over here piled up the most, I'm going to get this lumber out of here. We're going to lift that up and see what we're working with on this side. And it'll be pretty much the same on the other side, except for there's going to be a hole going through underneath where the bathtub is, because there's ductwork that runs through there. There was vents underneath the bathtub in the bathroom, as well as the water lines, because all the water runs on the side that you're sitting. And I've got to address those, because I do want to put water in here eventually. So we can just come out here and we can fill the chicken water. We can fill, the brooder chicks water containers, and we could even go right out here and grab the water bottles for the rabbits, fill them in here, and then we don't have to drag a hose all over the place like we are now. But that's going to be in the future, because I'm going to have to run PEX line out here, and I would kind of rather have this already set up more in a permanent location, and I'm hoping that that is here, right where it's sitting. But I always get ideas, things change, and we can always rearrange. What I may do is actually run a water hose over here and just have a supply line out here during the summer months when it's warm. I don't have to worry about water freezing, things like that. We'll just have to see. I would love to have a buried line and just have it run straight in, because I do have a rooftop AC and heater that still works. So we could fire that puppy up and keep it warm in here, and it would probably actually help the chicks more. I would have to cut a hole in my wall to allow that to blow over here, and I'm okay with that. But I don't know how efficient that would be unless I completely closed up these open windows, things like that, that would need buttoned up for that purpose. And I don't want to cut back on my ventilation system. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. And we got a visitor again. Look at this, guys. She came to say hello again. Hello. Santana. Hi, baby. Yep. Don't touch me. She's something else. Something else, guys. That's why I do this. I love it. I love the animals. I love dealing with them. And let's move on, shall we? Alright. Get this out of here. Got some screws and stuff I still got to take out of that, so I'm not going to completely throw it outside. Excuse me, ma'am. You need to go on. You have nesting boxes. Thank you. Alright. We'll toss these smaller ones over here. This can go outside. And then we have this one. And I'm going to go ahead and set this door out of the way as well, because I would like to stand that up and dump it into the floor where we already have to clean anyway. So this door is not ridiculously heavy, it's just awkward. And working in a very tight space here. So we're just going to slide the door out the door. If that makes any sense to y'all. Alright, I'm right here. I'm right back. I was just right there. Sliding a door out a door. So, we're going to stand this up here and see. I don't think, maybe I did. I guess we secured that down too. So, well, maybe I'll move everything over and we'll look at this side, because I got to figure out how that side's secured down. And yeah, I know this side is not, because we had to access water lines, things like that. So, uno momento. course, I didn't bring a bucket for all these screws and bolts and things. Shame on me. But that is okay. We will deal with it. We're just gonna... We'll utilize this old first aid box. That'll work. That'll work. It's not for first aid anymore. Let me get these screws picked up, and we'll come down here and I'll show you what we're dealing with, because this will be the bigger pain in the butt side anyway. That door falling just scared the crap out of me. So normally on things like this, I'd have like a tool belt or something that I put all the screws and stuff into. But I didn't do it this time. Shame on me. Shame on me. All right. Let's get involved here. We're gonna make a mess. And like I said, I'd rather put this down into the floor where there's already a mess we have to clean up. And hopefully it doesn't go in my shoe. There it goes. Can you guys see the cloud? All right. Super. All right, so I'm gonna set that over out of the way. I got my respirator on. That's approved, right? Safety check. All right. Anyway, this is what we're looking at here. We got a gap there. I will probably cut these water lines off because I only need water in here and in there. So I don't think I'll need water in this back part, because it's just, that's a lot to for the minimum stuff that we're going to be doing in here. So like I said, we've got that hole there. You can even see outside where it is rotted underneath that bathtub. We had to rebuild that entire bathroom when we got this, and I did not do under the tub. We just pulled all the rotten stuff out. We insulated that and left it. Now on this side, we have the tire well to contend with, as well as some duct work and other plumbing that run through there. That is a drain from the kitchen sink that is no longer existing. So that can be cut out of there, as well as this bathtub drain that's under here. So there's not a whole lot that we're going to have to do to get this boxed in and closed off. And the other side, it's going to have, I believe, a spot for duct work possibly. And then we also have the fender well that we have to contend with. But I think this is going to work out great for raising chicks up a little bit bigger than what they are. I have a couple different ideas I want to do in here. So if the first way doesn't work, we'll try another way. But I think this is going to be great for letting the chicks get bigger. And then we might actually be able to do young ones on one side, bigger ones on the other. I don't know yet. I'm trying to come up with a system for that. So, but that's what we're working with. I want to cut the plywood so that the top of this is pretty open. But I want to be able to hinge it so it can open and close. That way we can contain the chicks in there. And I think I'm just going to use some chicken wire or something like that for that. And then, yeah, we'll be able to bring some chicks out here. I am excited. It's not going to take a whole lot of work. It just takes time, motivation, a little bit of patience, and we will get there. We'll get her done. It's happening. We're making a brooder room. So I'm gonna let y'all go now, and like I said, stay tuned. If you want to see how this turns out, I would suggest hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button. Hey, leave us a comment. Let me know what you think, how this is going to turn out. And you'll just have to stay tuned and find out because, well, we're out of time for today. So, hit that subscribe button. And we will see you next time. I hope you have an awesome day today. And I hope you have an awesome rest of your week. So, yeah. Come back and see us. See you next time.